Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Heads Will Roll Reforged episode number 2. We're going to pick up right where we left off in the last video, which is, due to the confusion, you managed to overcome the poorly organized defenders in a swift and rather hectic fight. As you recall, we charged in with the prince. Their tactical retreat into the walls quickly escalates to a chaotic rout. You storm into the town proper, hot on their heels. Inside the walls, however, the situation is already changing. The prince's knights are struggling to hold against the superior numbers of the French, and slowly but surely are falling back towards the main gates. The prince could definitely use some infantry support, but rushing to his aid may prove to be a dangerous undertaking. Not willing to leave Prince Edward in danger, the Earl quickly calls for volunteers to join the rescue effort. The rest are told to hold the gates for a safe retreat thereafter. It seems only a seasoned and fierce warriors are joining the Earl. It's unlikely someone will point a finger at you if you refuse, especially given that you are wounded and exhausted, barely able to even stand straight. This is clearly a good opportunity to prove yourself to the Earl, maybe even to the Prince himself. But right now, on the other side of the scale lies no less than your life. And the question is whether or not this is the time to risk it. Obviously, as a random character, this is probably certain death to go. So we'll say no. You make the level-headed decision to stay at the gates. The Earl and volunteers arrive just in time to prevent the French from encircling the prince's retinue. The combined force of the two groups is just enough to fight their way back to the gates. The battered town defenders hesitate to give chase and instead settle with the status quo restored. As you fall back to safety and catch your breath, you are slowly filled with the proud realization that you just managed to survive your first battle. While you come back to your senses and tend your wounds, the main force of the English army is steadily approaching the city. Columns of people, horsemen, and wagons, all stretching for several miles, flow from the horizon like an endless river, slowly pouring around the city from all sides. Having found the sergeant among the survivors, you ask him what will happen now. He responds with only one word: Siege! Chapter 1, Siege of Cambrai, City of Cambrai, Low County, or something. Over the next few days, you watch as a full-fledged city gradually grows all around the walls of Cambrai. Thousands of people, hundreds of tents and awnings, dozens of various siege and assault weapons, and long lines of convoys arrive every day from almost all directions. You would not dare to call all this a mere camp any longer. According to the sergeant, who is constantly aware of the goings-on, the king will not delay the siege. The success of the entire campaign depends on the speed of this attack, and any further delay will give the French a chance to thoroughly gather their strength. This is why the usual siege tactic, winning the city through a war of attrition, is not going to fly with Cambrai. The sergeant says the assault should take place in about a week, when the siege engines are fully deployed and the rest of the reinforcements have caught up with the army. For now, all you can do is take advantage of what peaceful days remain. You have received salary, 55 florins. Hey, it looks like we have a bit of prestige. We got 8 florins additional. Fantastic. And this is one of the main benefits of Colossus. I don't think I even mentioned this when I told you that it's good because of the vitality plus 3 equals 1 strength. No, actually, probably the best thing is a passive generation of strength and vitality after you complete every chapter. Another thing we could do is maybe just take a look at our inventory. Let's see how we're doing here. We'll go ahead and equip the gloves. Kind of pointless to do it. This shield is not even worth repairing. By the way, there is a blacksmith that we can visit and he'll give us a job. Who are you? What do you need? I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to say it's fine. They give us a quest, which we're probably not going to do, which is you have to work for the blacksmith 3 times before he's able to repair your equipment. That's probably not something we'll end up doing. Let me actually just go over to trade, and we probably are going to want to pick up a better weapon. We have a pretty basic weapon. I always like to look at the damage versus the stamina ratio. I mean, you can take into account the other things as well, but this is 6 to 10. If we go back, the Falchion is 8 to 11, which is a lot better. It has slightly lower prestige. The attacks are slash, lunge, overhead strike. I think that those are the same. Let me just verify. Slash, lunge, weak spot. Okay, so it's weak spot instead of overhead. I think the Falcon's probably better, but let's just wait on that for a second. I think I might even get rid of these for the extra 10 gold for now. Might want to come back. You know what, I'm actually not sold on any of those things, so let's go ahead and gamble. We won 2 florins, we won 2 more, we lost 3, and we're ready to train. Okay, good. So let's do coordination, endurance, maybe another round of coordination, and strength. We'll rest now. We'll do a bunch more gambling. 2, +2, +2, +3, +2, and +2. That was fantastic. Any soldier knows very well that one should always stay away from the authorities. And now you fully realize the truth of these words. Accidentally catch Earl's eye on one of these days, you immediately get called to him to receive a responsible task. Accidentally caught? I don't know. Earl says he is currently actively working on plans to infiltrate the besieged city, but the shortage of good alcohol in the camp is a serious threat to his strategic genius. When you timidly try to note that the army stocks are full of wine and ale, Earl immediately gags you, stating that he is not going to drink this swill, and he needs something of a substantially higher quality. A good place to look for this something, in his opinion, will be the farmsteads of the local nobility that have not yet been plundered. There in the cellars is supposed to be a supply of excellent wine. The whole thing, of course, should be done as quietly as possible and without attracting too much attention. You are not enthusiastic about this assignment, but it is what it is. It's not like someone's giving you a choice. So we have this new quest in Vino Veritas, and perfect example of like a game balance thing. I am, as this character, going to opt not to do it. We're just going to let the Earl stuff it. I don't really care. Opinion with him will go down, and that is something that the game tracks. We're already apparently negative with the soldiers already think we're a loser. That's okay. We have 5 prestige, and our virtue isn't terrible. So those are the things we got going for us. But yeah, this is one of those trade-offs. So we don't want to... We'll do that one eventually, but there's some downsides to it, especially for this character. I think it won't be wise to do it. I'd rather spend that time training. For us, we're going to go ahead and do solo practice to get the weapon skill up. And remember, every 5... Is it 5? 4. Yeah, 4. Every 4 weapon training sessions, we get a talent point. We, actually, I forgot. We got a civic talent point because we finished a chapter. So we have Colossus, we have Musician. Lucky Devil is a good one. Man of Faith, I mean, I'd never considered it before this. What else do I... There's another one that I think I want before those. Now, Casanova is another great one. You can visit the brothel for free if you are going with a non-virtuous character. But you know what? I think Lucky Devil is probably the best one for us here. Do it yourself if we wanted to go to crafting. We do have the crafting gloves, but for this character, I don't think we're going to invest in that. So, because we started with Musician as the random... just through the starting the random start, they gave it to us, which is really fortunate. Those are the top 3 I would probably try to get anyway. So another thing we should be doing is trying to look for a loot in the stack of items that we could possibly get. I think we can get one if we go and actually pick up the wine, but I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and buy this belt. 50. I mean, I really think that this is... I'm the kind of person who typically will save the potion you got from the tutorial all the way until the very end of the game and go through the last boss fight and never use it. It's just kind of the person I am. I really like the Commoner's Belt, by the way. I think it's a very good thing. +3 strength, +2 vitality, very good fit. Probably even would get rid of the Brigand's Gauntlet or the plain dice if we didn't have a spot available. But the Worker Gloves have no combat benefits, so it's very easy for us to take that off. Actually, I'm going to put this... I'm actually going to put these on for the moment, because there is a small thing coming up. Is that going to be enough craftsmen, though? No, I don't think so. There's a little skill check coming up that we might have been able to benefit from the extra crafting, but I probably won't do it anyway. Okay, so let's leave that all where it is and go back to training. Okay, so what do we want to train? Well, the first thing we need to do is rest. This time we'll do some gambling. 3. Oh, we've definitely won a lot more than we've lost. And now we can go train again. Let's see, we're at 3, so 1 more and we get a skill point. Let's go ahead and do that. Talent point, I should say. And what's our character doing? I forgot. We're on swords, right? Okay. Well, that could change. I mean, I guess we'll leave the talent point for a second, go back to the trade yet again, see if we can find a weapon that we're comfortable with. And yet again, nothing very interesting. This is only 30% protection, I think. Yeah. So I don't really think the light helmet is worth wearing. It's 1/3. It basically lowers the chance that you get hit in the head by 1/3 for coordination penalty, and I don't think the benefit's worth buying it. Maybe if you were given it, it'd be worth keeping it. But all right, so that was just another waste of time, unfortunately. There. Let's train up, rest, gamble. 2, 2. Lost one finally. Okay, according to the king's plan, the success of the upcoming assault will be ensured by several dozen different siege weapons: trebuchets, catapults, siege towers, and battering rams. Their construction obviously requires not only time but also a large amount of effort, and therefore many soldiers are involved in this work every day. This fate does not pass by you either. So now this is where if I put on the construction gloves, those craftsman gloves, I think there's a craft check for the construction engineers. We'll just choose a physical job. For several days in a row, you do tedious and hard, rough work. Many soldiers struggle with grueling work, but not you. Thanks to excellent physical strength, you manage not only to fulfill your duties, but also regularly help your comrades. We passed our strength check, which means, I guess, people are going to like us. As a result, you begin to notice that people look at you with more respect, and your authority among the soldiers is clearly growing. We're from negative reputation to positive. Hey, that's a good thing, right? To have the soldier reputation, I think you should be targeting trying to get that around 70s, just to know how far behind we are. Sparring, I think this takes 65. So you want to get it to at least 65 because sparring is less exhausting and it has a higher skill cap. So we do want to do sparring instead of solo practice at some point. In the meantime, right now, I'm going to go ahead and level up endurance and maybe coordination one more time. We should also keep in mind that vitality, if we raise that every 3, we get another strength. But so far, we're doing okay. A well-known physician traveling on personal business stops at the camp for a couple of days. He examines some of the wounded men and provides instructions regarding their treatment, while also advising on improving the overall sanitary conditions in the camp. This is a random event, doesn't always happen. We got very lucky. Vitality +1. I'm starting, when these positive things happen, I'm starting to think, and this is what happens even in my non-YouTube runs, you start to get the feeling like, oh, is this the run? Could this actually go somewhere? Especially after you die a whole bunch on the heads will roll, you're just, trying to earn a few points for progression. Every now and then you'll get this run, you're like, is this one, can it go? Can it get somewhere? And the answer almost every time is no, but it builds a little bit of hope, right? That's funny. Anyway, so vitality, not a big deal for us. Let's go back to resting, gambling. Lots of gambling. I'm surprised this doesn't reduce virtue, but better not say anything. Okay, one day you are unexpectedly called by a sergeant who asks you to help him with one important matter. You need to deliver water to one of the distant outposts covering the western part of the city. This direction is considered not particularly promising in terms of a siege. Moreover, there are no large gates, and therefore there is only one relatively small detachment. The problem, however, is that in the past few days the French made several sorties in that direction and, among other things, attacked one of the couriers delivering messages from the detachment. All this apparently is just a diversionary maneuver, and to transfer large forces to the western side of the city means to follow the French lead, weakening more promising directions. Thus, the western detachment will not get a reinforcement. However, it is still necessary to supply it, and also maintain contact with it. Therefore, you need a reliable person who can be assigned the role of a courier for a short time. Your task is to safely get to the western outpost, give them a letter with instructions from the command, as well as a load of drinking water. The sergeant gives you the letter and tells you to come to him to get water later when you are ready. The luggage may turn out to be quite bulky, so it would be handy to pick up some kind of bag. However, the sergeant himself can give it to you as well. The sergeant also warns you that the road may not be the safest. However, he assures you that the surrounding territories are, at the very least, still patrolled. Therefore, in the event of a French attack, you would simply need to hold out before help arrives, or until help arrives. New carts and caravans with all kinds of provisions and equipment arrive at the siege camp every day. In order to manage unloading and sorting out what was brought into the warehouses, the quartermasters, overwhelmed with worries, have to take one of the ordinary soldiers who are not engaged in other work to their aid. One of these days they come across you too. You are sent to sort out stocks at one of the food and equipment warehouses. The work is not too hard, but rather monotonous, and the quartermaster in charge of the warehouse now and then leaves for all sorts of business, leaving you to yourself. Poking around in countless bags and boxes, you inevitably notice that much of the contents could well be neatly pocketed, and no one would even notice. And the fact that the warehouse packed capacity with all kinds of goods is intended to supply the knights and their entourage, while you and your comrades of not such a noble origin are cared for not even half as much, only adds weight to your idea. Ordinary soldiers from your entourage would be more than grateful if, so to speak, for a short while, they would be invited to visit. However, dark deeds love silence, and if you can grab a couple things for yourself relatively safely, then a large-scale theft has a high chance of being noticed and getting you severely punished. So I think that we're going to look out for ourselves in this run, take a few things. After giving it some thought, you decide that the knights, some of whom are already having difficulty climbing up on their horses due to excess weight, will not become impoverished if you pocket a couple of things. After waiting, we passed it. Oh, we have our luck thing, our civic trait. After waiting for the quartermaster to once again leave for some urgent business, you go on a hunt. Okay, great. So we only have 5 inventory spaces, but we'll probably end up throwing this shield away. It's still worth 25. So in fact, maybe not. Oh, we got a poor man's pouch, which is actually perfect. We can put that on. So that gives us 4 item spots that we can put stuff in, which is great. We can actually just wear this leather gorget in for a short amount of time. Doesn't look like we even need to do that, though. The coagulant can actually go right into our pouch, and then we'll unequip this. We don't need it. And proceed. Returning back, the quartermaster does not notice anything, and you completely get away with this small theft. And the only thing you have to pay for the deed is remorse. A little bit weird. I mean, virtue decreases, I guess, because it's not really your remorse. It's just the fact that you did it. You know, it's not good to steal, and you did that. Anyway, wow, we're 18 minutes in and no combat yet. That's just how this game goes. It's a lot. It's a visual novel, pretty much. Let's increase endurance. Endurance a little more. Oh, yeah. And what about this new quest? Now we have 3, right? Water Boy. Well, what we want to do is go as soon as our inventory is a little bit more clear. Probably just sell some of this stuff. I think we'll just go sell all this. Let's go trade again. Okay, we have a better shield. I might actually take that one. Another commoner's belt. We have leather boots, which are good for the endurance. I really do like endurance, but I don't know if we're going to use any of those. I'm going to go ahead and sell the workers' gloves. I've decided no longer going to keep those around. We'll still keep that for the 3 prestige. We'll sell the healing herbs, and this is only 7. I think it's not worth keeping for only 8 durability. I'll sell it, but I probably need another shield. It would be good to have in case the first one breaks. This is 60. We have 140. Man, I really wanted to wait for another weapon, though. And I don't think the sergeant... Okay, let's get the water stuff. Okay, we got the canteen. Take the bag. Good. So this is another thing that we're going to end up doing, which is something I didn't even realize the first playthrough, or maybe a couple of playthroughs. We're just going to pocket this stuff and we're not delivering it. That's it. It's just another way you can try to get a little bit more progress in the game is by pissing people off for your own benefit to make you survive just that hair a little bit longer. Get that 1 extra kill, which does, I think every kill counts for your leveling up, your profile, progression. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, we do have a talent point. We still don't know what we're going to do. I'm still waiting for trade to give us something nice, but let's go ahead and gamble some more. Lost 2, 1, lost 3, 1, 2. Let's go with endurance and maybe strength. I do like strength. Endurance is actually pretty important. Okay, go back and rest. Failure to get wine as per Earl's assignment. You have greatly lost your credibility in his eyes. Okay, well, boo-hoo, the Earl doesn't think we're, as some pissant militia person, I don't think I really care that the Earl thinks very poorly of us. Again, we know what this character is. We could even roleplay. We could really buy in and start making this really a role-playing exercise where we're some couldn't care less type guy who only looks out for himself. Because that's basically how we're playing him, right? Okay, so how's the fatigue looking, though? Not good. Let's gamble. 1, lost 4, 1, 1, 3. Good. Now, before I train, let's just go to the trade again. Light crossbow, not what I wanted. I actually think the padded leather gorget is potentially worth it because it is 100% coverage and neck armor of 7. Not bad, but same amount of prestige, so it's not going to help you in that regard. Still no good weapons that I'm seeing here. We're probably going to have to loot them off, well, off corpses. And I don't think the light crossbows work. I don't really use the crossbows, but one of these days we'll do a crossbow build. Still waiting to see what weapon I pick up before I use my weapon talent. Okay, so let's go back to training then. I guess coordination is still useful. Probably have to do this a little bit more carefully since we're almost at the point in time where it's, time to go. Maybe 1 agility, and then we'll gamble until... Okay, Sergeant basically waits until you finally decide to fulfill the task of delivering letters and waters to the western outpost, but gives up and sends another person there in despair. He tells you that through your slowness you have greatly let him and the Earl down. Reputation for the Earl is lowered by 15, oh no! Woe is me, what will I ever do? Okay, now I think that we need to do trading now if we want to do it at all. And I do want to do it. Did we get anything? We got fancy shoes, which is not going to help us. No, we really did not get what I wanted here. We still have this loot bag too, which is useful. It gives us what? Extra 3? What else do we have? Stuck with a short sword, which is not ideal. And that's right, I was actually going to potentially go with an agility build in this one, but... oh well. Okay, so let's just go ahead and rest one more time, or gamble, I guess. And lucky for us, we got this all the way down to 0. I guess we'll do trading one more time. I'm going to pick up this Gambeson. I think it's worth it. Oh, wow, we got this Aventail as well, which I think is worth it as well. Only 1 coordination penalty. Gives us some amount of head armor and some amount of neck armor. 5 is very easily defeated by a weapon, and I think that means the lower armor, it's more likely to be chipped or broken when somebody hits it, which reduces the armor. But I think that for 50 and 75, 125, we have enough to pick these up. And this is the rare game where I will use all my consumables and I will buy armor and all that from the market. So that's what we're going to do. Gambeson, same kind of thing. It has good coverage, but very low armor itself, which means it'll be easily bypassed. But even if it's bypassed, it'll still reduce the incoming blow. Alright, what does that put us at as far as... and now I really don't want the light leather gorget, because it's only going to add armor on top of armor we already have. Now, armor does stack if there's 2 armors which cover the same area, like neck or limbs. It does stack. In fact, it adds. So the 50 from here and the neck armor also adds, as if they were stacked on top of each other. Even though you can have things like gauntlets and, leg something, and they greaves, let's say, and they actually add on top of each other the armor value, I think. Doesn't exactly make sense to me, but that's just the way the game works. Okay, we have no money left. I'm gonna sell this Gorget just to have more room for potential items, and then we can proceed. Okay, let's go. At the appointed hour, the whole camp is set in motion, and your eyes are presented with both a great and terrifying spectacle. The volley of dozens of trebuchets and catapults, unleashing a relentless avalanche of boulders on the city, provide cover to the hordes of soldiers rushing towards the fortress walls. The whistle of arrows, the crash of projectiles, the beat of war drums, the howl of trumpets, and the scream of over 1,000 voices merge into a single deafening cacophony in which you can no longer tell any sound apart. Being in the thick of the assault, you, mere minutes after the start of the attack, are deafened to everything but this surrounding hum that echoes in your head. An endless rain of arrows and crossbow bolts pour on you from the city walls, only growing stronger the closer you get to the city. Injured and slain comrades are falling beside you left and right, but by some miracle you manage not to be hit by any arrows yourself. So that was an agility check that we passed. When you finally get to the city walls, a hail of stones rains on you from above. One of the heavier stones lands directly on your fellow soldier's helmet, barely 2 feet away from you. He falls to the ground as blood trickles down his face. Assisted by several other soldiers, you drag him away. The poor fellow, though still breathing, appears to be unconscious and could fall prey to enemy archers at any moment. If you leave him lying here just like that, that would most likely be his death sentence. So we can give up our shield, or as, this good selfish Christian individual, we're just going to say a prayer for him. Good luck, buddy. You hesitate a moment deciding whether to cover him with your shield, but you're just not willing to take another risk. Instead, you leave him with a silent prayer calling for a guardian angel to save the injured, as well as yourself. You decide to keep the shield for yourself. Yes, we know. After all, it will be of more use to someone who can still stand on both feet, as opposed to someone 1 foot in the grave already. Okay, virtue actually decreases, but whatever. As you can try to catch your breath, you look around for ladders that should already be in place, or that was the plan anyway, as they are nowhere to be seen. While you continue searching, trying to make sense of anything in the clouds of dust and smoke enveloping you, a chaotic fight ensues. Taking full advantage of the state of disarray, a group of enemy soldiers emerges from the haze and attacks your troop. Okay, here we go. So we're fighting a French footman. He's got a kettle hat, which is pretty good. He's also wearing gambeson, and he's got plate sabatons. I don't remember what these are exactly. Also has a bandage, so we cause him to bleed. He's got length 3, two-handed axe, woodcutter's axe. He's got very good coordination, 5-4 strength, so our strength is probably a lot higher than his. Agility is 2. Weapon skill is equal to ours. He has good stamina recovery. I think we're going to start with our usual, try to bash him. 80%, you can see that because of the massive difference in our stats, strength of 10 versus his strength of 5, was it? We have 80% chance to bash, and we can do this with a defensive stance, no penalty to our bash chance. It's pretty good. I think this is a great opener. So he's stunned and then unable to move. I actually took less fatigue than I... so we can do it again, by the way. Yeah, this I don't know what happened with that. Stamina drain should be 10 plus strength divided by 2. But his fatigue is only 7. I mean, it's only 7 that he lost, so was that really a hit? Miss penalty is 5. Let's do it again. Oh, I think it's because of the plate sabatons. And that must be the hidden effect there. So we're probably doing the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure plate sabatons increase your resistance to shield bashes. Which, if I had remembered a second ago, would have made our decision to use those as our the skills we used the last 2 times. Probably would have been different. That's okay. We've taken him down to, just by merit of him having low stamina, we've taken him down to stamina of 5. Probably a very good time for us to try to press something. And it looks like he has... What is he wearing? Oh, it's gambeson, so that's not great. 1% chance. Likely to hit him in the limbs. Also... It's not... I mean, our sword only has damage of 6, which is probably still enough to get by the gambeson. It may damage it too. Neck, on the other hand, is 41%. It's not likely to hit. Let's go with the limbs. Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and also do a recovery. I suspect that he will. Okay, now I'll switch to defensive, probably. We'll do a 1 respite, which will lower from 35 to 29. He's chopping us, and he hit, and he damaged my armor. That's exactly what I wanted to do to him. But he did it to me. So this armor is now... Limbs armor is from 4 down to 2. Okay, fair enough. But he's down to 9, so we're going to go ahead and take the offensive. Swing. I really want this neck hit if I can get away with it. Alright, 50% chance. That works 100% of the time, 50% of the time. Got him. Critical hit, another -6. So that was actually really good. Got very lucky. We should also keep in mind, though, and I need to remind myself this even, that although we're possibly going to kill this guy, we also don't want to kill him if we're in a bad state. And what I mean by that is there's going to be a new person to take his place as soon as we kill him. And we don't want to be in a bad position like low stamina or have a lot of fatigue, because the next person could be the death of us. And although I'm not in a hurry I'm not in a hurry to end this run, even though I don't mind starting a new run. So we could go with this again. I feel like let's do the guaranteed thing this time. Okay, and go back to defensive. Let's recover first. And he's wounded. Okay, he drops his helmet, and he split my shield. Still have 10 left, so that's good. And he's also, I mean, he's almost down, but the thing is, I don't want to kill him. I'd rather recover and respite. So I'll wait. I'll probably wait for him to do yet another... Oh, well, that could be that... No, let's recover. That could be like the invitation for us to do well. think we're gonna recover yet again. I really don't want to be in a bad spot when faint. Okay, just kind of want to wear him down now. We also have in our pouch these canteens, and I will be using those liberally. But for the moment, that skill check will actually go up and down. 67 from 63 was it? That's not enough to really warrant it. What do we have here? Oh, still 74% chance. That's good enough that let's take it. Okay, did not damage his armor. Oh, he's chopping armor. Of course that's going to do damage to armor. Let's just do a oh, wait, he's down to 4. Okay, I think this is an okay moment for us to... Well, I probably should respite first, but if we respite, then... he's already on his last legs. One thing I should say. If we wanted to right now, we could just wear him down and kind of like play with him. Do nothing. We could do some attacks without the chance of really doing it, getting a hit. Oh, yeah, that's right. His head, I forgot. His head is completely... So he's like... We could just kill him very easily. I think I will. Oh my god, 95% chance. Oh, woo. I caught a little bit off guard. Shouldn't matter that much in the end, but that did surprise me. Alright, he's going to recover all the way back. We're going to do the same thing, though. Oh my god. -1 armor, so that's 4. Actually, that's not too big of a deal. I think at this point we can go and try to finish him off again. Tortuga's YouTube luck is something else. Truly something to behold. It's unreal. That's okay. We're gonna do fine. Ah, he killed my shield now too. Dang it. Shield bash is my opener against the next one who's coming. Well, at this point, I think we've already reached the... We're probably gonna have to just play with him until the next guy. Yeah, I mean until this round ends. So how can we do that? Do a body hit. It shouldn't do that much damage. It had a 15% chance of bypassing his armor, and it did it. This is unreal. Even when I don't want to hit, I get lucky or unlucky. Enemy attack seems to be stifled. The battle might be soon coming to an end. Yeah, that's what we're relying on. Now he's extremely exhausted. We should be in great shape not to have to worry about this. We might have to recover and then just kill him and have to survive a few turns with the next one. I mean, I don't want to take any of these things. Let's just recover one more time. Okay, he failed to recover. What are my chances of hitting him? Because I still want to kill him. But we could go... Let's go to normal. I mean, that'll give me a slightly higher chance of hitting him. 80%. Alright, we got him. Chopped off his hand. And here we go, right away. Let's go to defensive and respite. We have good stamina still remaining, so let's just try to get this down. Okay, look at that. It's perfect. Small pause in the fighting, we can either search or rest. I think in this case resting would be smarter, but I'm still looking for another weapon. So, okay, well we didn't get weapons, but we got a pretty good helmet. I'll probably wear this one. So we'll get this. Oh, wait a second. I already have a helmet. 50% for 12. I think we'll keep on what we have because it gives nice neck armor coverage. Yeah. Okay, proceed. The daring sortie of the French fails to push you back from the walls. The attackers could not grind down your troop in time and soon find themselves surrounded by arriving reinforcements who overrun them. You get a short breather. Okay, we get to prepare for battle again. Don't think there's anything we want to do in preparation. We're already set. It's basically the only choice is maybe to swap out our helmet, but I don't see the benefit of doing that, so... The defenders keep throwing stones and shooting arrows at you. Oh no. But the shower of missiles seem to be dwindling. The siege engines sing for their supper well enough, shattering the walls with every hit. With the arrival of reinforcements, the siege ladders finally make an appearance as well. And by Northampton's order, they are immediately propped against the walls. In an attempt to encourage the men, the Earl promises a handsome reward as well as a double share of spoils to the first soldier who sets foot atop the walls. Despite this generous offer, your fellow militiamen seem to have little enthusiasm for the idea. We are going to stay behind. You are not about to lead a suicidal attack, so you make way for several other daredevils willing to be the first to go up. Climbing the wall is neither easy nor safe, even in the second wave. All other thoughts fade from your mind as heavy rocks fall from above. We don't have a shield. You evade the first projectile, but the next one is well aimed and heads straight towards your face. Without a shield, all you can do is use your hand for cover, which bears the brunt of the blow. Judging by the sudden sharp pain, your hand has been seriously damaged by the impact. Still, you manage to stay on the ladder. Thankfully, really thankfully, this is only a health decrease. It's not like an injury or something. So we can, we may die anyway, but I think that's, it's not going to decrease our combat capability otherwise. Several of those who followed you are not as fortunate, however, losing their grip from the impact and knocking down other allies in the process. Their screams urge you forward, and a few minutes later you set foot atop the wall where several English soldiers are already fighting the defenders. So this is the first time we get to have a companion with us, although this will be a more typical case as the game progresses. You almost always have an ally fighting with you. But then they will almost always have an ally fighting with them as we move forward as well. Okay, so we're still carrying with us quite a lot of fatigue, and we have no shield, so chances of us surviving this one, I have to say, are not great. Nonetheless, we've got to give it the old college try, and we know that the feint is not affected by defensive stance. We'll just check both. We have 50% chance. I think that they both have shields. Wooden club is not that dangerous. Hunting sword is also really not that dangerous. In fact, he has a hunting knife. Does that increase the damage? I think it does. Can't click to find out, though. 6-4-2-5, 7-4, 5-5. I think that this guy is more of a threat. He also has an assassin's crossbow. Yeah, let's pick on the first one, so we'll go with the experienced. And we succeeded in our feint. Great. Or, he launched a crossbow. And feint, by the way, makes them blind. It should be like a very hard time for them to hit anybody with that. Typically what you'll see the AI do, especially if, it's not the first turn, is they'll just use that to recover. However, they don't recover if they're already completely full on stamina, which was the case here. Okay, let's see what the attack percent chance looks like. 59 for armor, and he's not wearing any body armor. I didn't realize that. That probably makes that a really good option for us. Let's go for it. Good. We actually got by the guy's shield too. And he shield bashed my companion, but that guy didn't get stunned, so that's good news. Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and respite on defensive stance. Still have enough. Okay, I'm planning to do that myself. Oh, my buddy here is just getting mauled. We've only lost the 5 from climbing up and getting hit by the rock. This guy's on very low stamina, so he's a good one to attack. Not a good chance on any of the other ones. Who was the one who got their shield hit? 14, so it was this guy. And he has just a terrible shield. Okay, I don't really want to spread the damage around, but in this case I think it makes sense to do that. Go for his limbs, I guess. Got a hit. And he dropped his shield. That can happen sometimes. Oh, they maimed us. Not good. Strength down by 3. We don't have a shield, so that's not as bad as it could be. This is probably a good time for us to use one of our canteens. So this will give us 25 stamina and about the same, basically the same amount of fatigue recovery, which is good because we really want to try to get that down. In fact, we're probably going to do that and then also respite. He didn't even break the guy's shield. So much talking in this game, I'm going to need to keep constantly sipping water. Okay, nobody has low stamina. Not going to be good options here. Let's just see how bad it is. Pretty bad. Very bad, I would say. One more other check. Slightly better. We're in defensive stance. Let's try to feint. I think this is the best thing to do. gives him -10 prestige and, I'm sorry, -10 fatigue, stamina, and also the penalty to hit. So then he recovers, as I mentioned, that's the typical AI. Unfortunately, this doesn't give us a respite token. Only attacks give you respite tokens, so it's something to know that if you want to recover fatigue, sometimes you have to just make an offensive attack. 65%, let's go with that. Ah, we maimed him back. If we can kill one person, that'd be fantastic. It's just more points. I mean, I keep playing this as if it is my first character. Well, let's go with 67. A miss. Not too unexpected. We got lucky with a few. Probably time for us to recover. Yeah. I wish there was a way to make this text go a little bit faster. And is there? Oh, there is. Okay, you can just hold control. Great. So that skips everything. You can't see what they do, though. That's not quite what I want. What I really want is just like 2x speed of what it currently does. Anyway, I think we'll recover again. Just wait for them to wear out their... armor damage, good. Wear out their stamina. My poor companion. Oh, his eye's damaged. War is hell. Alright. We'll respite here. Goes after my buddy. And, oh god, he's gonna die! Well, we gotta do something here, right? Because otherwise, we're next. We don't need to go into full offensive since I'm seeing 100%. I'm probably going to go with the head strike here. Could have maybe gone offensive and gone for the neck. Okay. We missed that. When you're in the balance stance, you have the greatest defense against feints. If you're in defensive or offensive, you are more susceptible. So we happen to get lucky about that. I think I'm going to still pick on this first one. 75. Well, body's 100%. So I guess the best thing for us to do is go defensive, see if it's still 100%. Yeah, it's 95. I mean, we already missed a 95% this session, but we'll go for that. Oh god, the concuss. He's down to 1 hit point. Oh no. Well, we really got to even the odds soon. We're tired now too. Although they are getting there as well. It's probably time for us to use another one of these, just because this is almost certainly going to be the death, the death of us. Okay, we're down to winded. Let's. We can finish this guy off, but if we do, the very, very sad thing is then somebody will replace him. I think. Actually, I'm not sure about this. This might be only one. Let's see if that happens. I didn't kill him. Sword slash. Oh no. There he goes. Well, how are we looking here? Any hit will kill this guy. We got him. Another good thing about that is we will also now have, and I don't see anybody coming, all the respite tokens that we can use. So let's first recover. Actually, I'm going to respite first because I think that'll take us down to winded. Good, it did, from 3 to 2. Now we just have to get lucky while we respite a whole bunch and let him hopefully miss a whole bunch. Let's even recover one more time because it's going to be a hard time for us to get down from 2 to 1. Probably wouldn't be able to do it. We're just staving off going back up to level 3 in fatigue. And we can only do about 5 of these in a row before you get the -1 reputation from soldiers. But you know what? This character does not care. We're going to respite all the way back, until round 20. I think we'll get the notification around now. Maybe it's around 30 in this one, though. Dang it. We might just have to fight this guy. I'm trying to, just delay. At some point, we'll get the cowardice thing, and haven't gotten it so far, though. Still kind of playing this the right way. I know it's weird to say. Okay, now he's on his last legs. 16. What's the to-hit chance look like? Oh, it's looking very, very good. What armor is he wearing? He's got leather cuirass, which is pretty good, although it's damaged. Yeah, and he's got not a great weapon. Let's go with the limbs here, which will give him more fatigue and put him a little bit closer to the completely exhausted, which at that point we can just run circles around him. Let's also increase our recover, just to make sure that we're not very easy to hit. I assume right now he's looking at extremely low, and you can see a 0%. There's no, there's no like a critical hit. You know, you roll a natural 20, you're guaranteed to hit type thing here. No, you can just have a 0% chance to hit and not hit at all, which he might be getting to. I'm hoping he's getting to. Situation on the battlefield is shifting. The battle might be coming to his might soon be coming to an end. Good. He check-feinted us. That's good. Well done on his part. Useless for us to do it this time. We'll recover. And then this is where we'll have to go for it. Let's go for the neck. Good hit. And he missed. And we're going to go for it right away. 100% chance. One hit point! One hit point! What's our chance now? This is all or nothing. 100% for the limbs. We got him. Arm chopped off. There we go. We could search for rest. I think... I don't know which one to do. I don't remember if there's another battle. I think there's an opportunity to fight somebody, but you can decline it. Let's search. I hope that it's exactly as I said. And actually getting the butchers out of that is fantastic. We also got a shield. We'll equip that right away. This butcher's blade is probably better. I mean, I'm sure it's better than the dice we're using, so we'll swap that out. And we're in not bad shape. You know, this run is actually, it's making a lot further than I thought. The course of the battle gradually changes. The confident onslaught of the English, which allowed you to take over a large section of the wall, is now slowly but surely fizzling out. The French, on the other hand, thanks to constant flow of reinforcements, begin to attack only stronger, threatening to throw you off the wall very soon. Right in the heart of the battle, you spot a tall knight leading and cheering the French soldiers. Confidently wielding his halberd, he fights with such a fury, as if intending to win the battle just by himself. Several of your comrades rush at him, but one by one they all fall dead from his heavy blows. Boy, what are we going to do here? We're not going to risk it, obviously. Despite fatigue and exhaustion, you remain clear-minded and see that you're no match for a foe like that, especially after everything you've already been through today. Seeing victory slip out of your hands, your allies begin to pull back. Those closer to the ladders and siege towers hurriedly descend, while others are trying to slow down the French advance and cover the retreat. I think we'll just retreat as soon as possible. Realizing that things are about to go south and it is every man for himself, you lead the retreat and flee the wall among the first. Lost even more virtue. You manage to return the camp safe and sound, but this action does leave a stain on your reputation. Okay. At the camp, it becomes evident that all attempts to take the town end with the same result. English troops attacked the walls from several directions simultaneously, which was supposedly to disperse the defending forces, but none of the attacking parties managed to achieve a decisive breakthrough. Heavy fighting took place at several sections of the wall at once. Some watchtowers were captured, but none of the attacks could build further success. At the camp, you see disgruntled knights and lords, as well as hordes of injured soldiers, while the smoking yet impregnable town walls dominate the background. You can't shake the thought that you may be stuck here for some time. Chapter 2, Going Nowhere Slow. Still in the city of Cambrai. After the disastrous, almost catastrophic assault, the entire wall plunges into licking its wounds. Almost all units in the Royal Army suffered substantial losses. Your squad is no exception. This battle has cost you more than a dozen men dead or wounded. The king, who was crossed as two sticks, is rumored to have cast all the blame upon the lords and their uncoordinated actions, who did not bother with mutual support and simply sought an opportunity to capitalize on the other's success, so as to pop up in the right place at the right time and take all the credit. As a result, the most battle-worthy and elite troops have wasted most of their time waiting for the right moment to arrive at the tipping point of the battle. Such indecisiveness has cost several missed opportunities, including the foothold that you were able to acquire at one of the walls. Now the king and his inner circle delve into planning another, more elaborate attempt to take Cambrai, leaving nothing to chance in someone's self-will. The earl and the prince, eager to prove themselves before the king, delve into laying out a cunning plan to penetrate the town walls. You have received your salary, and there we go. Strength of vitality. Look at that! Colossus paying dividends yet again. Well, okay, I see that we're like way over on time, so we'll go ahead and call this video to a close here. More battles to come in the episodes that follow. Until then, thanks for watching, and take care.